Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to my channel. I'm excited for you guys today. For those of you who are studying studying for the Olympiad competition coming soon, I wish you guys all the very best. And for those of you who are just clicked on this video just to help you with your algebra, welcome as well. So we have a question: x over 2 equals y over 4 equals z over 6. And whenever you have a question that looks like this, and then that's just the first part of the question, right? Then you have x, y, z equals 384. Well, what this question requires us to do is to solve for x. So we want to get the value of x, get the value of y, as well as get the value of z. Now, when you see this question, the first thing you can do is, oh my God, this is so complicated. What am I supposed to do? Well, just like anything in math, you're going to find a way to simplify the question in order for you to solve it easier. So the first thing I'm going to do is you have x over 2 equals y over 4 equals z over 6. Since this equals this 2, hence this x here equals the one up top. So I'm just going to rewrite it. So I'm going to break down the question. So we're going to have x over 2 can just equal y over 4. Okay, that's the first one. Then we're going to have x over 2 equals z over 6. Okay, so I'm isolating the other part of the question. And y over 4 equals z over 6, right? So when you have all of this information down, you see that you've slightly broken the question down. So the next thing you have to do is you cross multiply this way, and this way. This for all three of them. So you end up with 2y equals 4x. Okay, and further break this down into y equals 2x. And this one here too, cross multiply is same thing as 2z equals 6x, which can further be broken down into 2z equals 6x, which can further be broken down into 2 here 1, 2 here 3, which you can break that down to be z equals 3x. And then we have this third one where we cross multiply. We have that to be 4z, okay, equals 6y. We can break that down, simplify, because simplify is interesting to do. I agree. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So what you end up with is 2z equals 3y. So you have all three of this. You have all three of this where you have y equals to 2x, z equals to 3x, and 2z equals to 3y. We've successfully broken it down, so we're just going to rewrite down the next page. So you have y equals to 2x, z equals to 3x, and the last one is 2z equals to 3y. So 2z equals to 3y. So now remember we have x, y, z equals 384. Now, you can see that we've solved it in such a way and isolated it, each one of the three groups of variables. We've isolated them in such a way that we can make one variable to be the subject of formula. What I mean by that is you have what y. Y here is the same thing as 2x, right? So what I'm saying is, since y is the same thing as 2x, if you're thinking, and we also have z here to be the same thing as 3x. So what that means is that x, y, and z here is the same thing as substituting x for x, so it's just basically x. Y here for 2x here, interesting, and z here for 3x. So what you end up with is this, and remember, x multiplied by y multiplied by z, okay, x multiplied by y multiplied by z is the same thing as 384. So we're saying this whole thing here, x times 2x times 3x is the same thing as 384. So what you end up with is 2 times 3 is 6, x times x times x is x cubed. So we have that, and then you have 384. So we can do simple simple division. So you have 6 here, you have 6 here. So we can go for that. So 6 cancel here, there's 6 cancel here, 1, 1. So we isolated x cubed. We can divide 384 by 6 to break it down in case you don't know how to do very quick division with 6. You can just use 2, right? 2 here in 6, 3, 2 in 84, that's 192. 3 here, 1, 3 here, 3 times 6 is 18, here 1 here, so 64. So at the end of the day, what do we have? We have x cubed equals to 64. So we find the cube root of 64. So we have x here to be equals to the cube root of 64. And what do we have x to be? We have that to be 4. What that means is 4 times 4 times 4 is going to give you 64. So the cube root of 64 is 4. So it's the same thing as saying 4 cubed is going to give you 64. So hence the cube root of 64 is going to give you 4. So this is our answer, x equals to 4. But guess what? The question says to find the value of x, the value of y, the value of z. Well, what did we say x is whenever, what did we say x, what did we say we got x to be? We said we got x to be 4. Hence, what did we say y is in terms of x? Y can also be written as y equals to 2x. Hence, what we will call y? Y is going to be 2 times 4, and y is 8. So y equals 8. So we have that down here. And then you have z equals 3x. And there you have z equals to 3 times 4 is 12. You have z equals to 12. So hence what you have that to be is z equals to 12. So y equals 4. I'm going to go to the next page. Y equals 4. I'm sorry, x equals 4. That's my bad. So we have x equals to 4 here, right? Y equals to 8 here, and z equals to 12 here. And you have this. Now, in order for you to check that your work is actually correct, you can use either of the two equations. You can either use the equation x over 2 equals y over 4 equals z over 6, or you can just use one of the equation, or you can just use both. So yeah, y multiplied by z multiplied by x, so xyz equals to 384. So we're gonna do a check here. You have 4, right? For the top one, let's use both equations to check it out, right? X over 2 is the same thing as 4 over 2 equals y over 4 is the same thing as 8 over 4, okay? And z over 6 is the same thing as 12 over 6. All three of this is going to give us a value of 2. So the first equation checks fine. Now we're going to go to the more specific equation for us to see if we actually got the answer correct. So we have xyz is the same thing as 4 times 8 times 12 equals 284. So 4 times 8 is 32. 32 times 12. When you solve that, you find that to be 384. And 384 on the left hand side, 384 on the right hand side. So hence this answer is correct. That is literally the answer. So 384 is equal to 284. And yeah, that is it. This is our answer. Now that we're done getting our answers to be what we got our answers to be, I'm going to teach you a shortcut method. I'll teach you a shortcut method where you have x over 2, y over 4. So I'm just rewriting the question, z over 6. And we're going to solve it using the shortcut method. So xyz equals to 384. And that is just basically this, right? So you have x over 2. we're going to equate that to a variable k. Okay, it's gonna all come together. This is just a shorter way of doing it. We're gonna have y over 4 equals to k. We're gonna have z over 6 equals to k. The reason why we can do this is because the way our equation is set up, we see that x over 2 is the same thing as y over 4, which is the same thing as z over 6. So each one of this has like the same value, and we're going to use that unknown value to be k. So now that we've done that, we know that we can represent x to be 2k, y to be 4k, and z to be 6k. So now we have x, y, and z equals 384. So x, y, and z equals to 384. We're going to substitute the value of x here for this value 2k. We're going to substitute the value of y for this value 4k. We're going to substitute the value of z for this value 6k. So x, y, and z ends up becoming this here, which is 2k multiplied by 4k multiplied by 6k. All of that equals to 384. So you have 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 4, 2 times 4 is 8, 8 times 6 is 48. So you have 48k cubed equals to 384. So hence we can go on to isolate k cubed. So we have k cubed here to be 384 divided by 48. And that's going to be, let's start by breaking it down using the value of, let's use the value of 2 because it's easiest. 2 here and here, so we have 192, so 2 here, 12, 2 here, 96, 2 here, 2 here, 6. Here 26, that's going to be 48. So 6 here 1, 6 here 8. So we end up with k cubed equals to 8. When we find the cube root of k, we have that to be, when we find the cube root of 8, we have that to be 2. So hence cube root, so k cubed equals 8. I'm just going to rewrite that. So k equals to k cubed equals 8. So k has to be equal to the cube root of 8. Now solve that to the k equals to 2. So setting the background, we can see that x equals to 2k, y equals to 4k, and z equals to 6k. So x equals to 2k, that's x equals to 2 times 2, so x equals to 4. Y equals to 4k, that's 4 times 2, y equals to 8. And z equals to 6k, so that's 6 times 2, z equals to 12. So hence x equals to 4, y equals to 8, and z equals to 12, and that is the answer. You can see this method is much more quicker than the previous one. The previous one gives you the opportunity to think through things step by step, and the other one is what you can use, this shortcut method. I would advise you to use that whenever you're really good with like your algebra and really good with thinking out problems. Use the shortcut method to get to it quicker when your math is pretty good. That's what I would advise. That's just me. But I wish you guys all the very best. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button. And if you want great content like this, please, I would advise you, or I'll ask you to subscribe. And when you do choose to subscribe, please make sure to hit the notification bell. I wish you guys all the very best. Subscribe. Wish you guys all the very best. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.